It is maddening for everyone else. It is an epidemic, texting while walking.
Look at this guy walk into a wall, or this woman walk into a mall water fountain. And check this out, a bear on the loose, and this man texting almost walks right into him. The videos are funny, but the problem is serious. According to the most recent numbers, more than 1,000 people went to emergency rooms because they got hurt while walking and distracted on the phone. Double the year before, which was double the year before that. Bonnie Miller walked off this pier into Lake Michigan and had to be rescued by the Coast Guard.
You've had people hit and killed while distracted walking?
Correct. Well, most of the times it's because they're distracted.
The day before graduation, my daughter drove to go meet a boy, and she never made it.
He was texting her to tell her directions of where she needed to go.
And I guess she just looked away for too long.
Today, she would have been 19 years old, exactly.
I was on my way home. I had my girlfriend in the car, and I'm just reading a text message, responding. And the next second, I look up, and I see a bicyclist crashing the windshield.
This is my sister. She was looking at my message that I had just sent her. When she looked up, her truck flipped. She was actually ejected through the driver's side door, and she landed in the ditch. People will tell you over and over again, it's not your fault. But knowing that you were the person that she was talking to when she was killed. If I could talk to her one last time, I would just say, I'm sorry.
It's a simple text message. Where are you at? 3 simple words.
I sent one stupid, meaningless text and killed a man.
4 little letters. That's what killed her.
Divers just pulled an SUV from the Mercer Slough. Welcome back. I'm Molly Shen.
And I'm Mike Dardis. 3 women escaped the vehicle, and they're blaming bad GPS for leading them right into danger. KOMO 4's John Flick, live now with the latest. Good morning.
Good morning, Mike and Molly. Well, the women are okay. I talked with one of their coworkers who tells me they're in town for a conference. They were on this road right here late last night, got lost. Well, they drove right into the slough and just kept on going.
The police officer right over there almost ran my kid over because I was texting my wife. You know, my son kind of wandered off in front of him, and he didn't, you know, the cop was kind of tall, so he didn't see him and almost ran him over. Or, you know. It was a cell phone incident. It just happened.
Talk to many parents and they'll say it's easy to get distracted when they're supposed to be keeping an eye on their kids. But now, people who specialize in childhood injuries say they've noticed a troubling shift in the last 5 years. Smartphones and other mobile devices have given caregivers a whole new layer of distraction.
I think the cell phone, we tend to carry them on our bodies, so when they're buzzing or beeping or flashing, even when we don't want to pay attention to them, they get our attention.
While there appear to be no formal studies proving the connection between device distraction and child injuries, statistics show a compelling coincidence. After falling for much of the last decade, non-fatal injuries among children under 5 have started to rise again. From 2007 through 2010, those injuries grew by 12%. Meanwhile, during roughly the same period, the number of cell phone users who own a smartphone grew from 6% to 30% in the U.S. Today, nearly half of all Americans own one of these devices.
In today's world, we live in an environment filled with cell phones and other devices. While very useful and entertaining, our society has grown too dependent on this technology. This film was made to allow everyday people to take charge on this problem and inform the world that it is not only possible to live a technologically balanced life, but very necessary.
Buy it, use it, break it, fix it, trash it, change it, mail, upgrade it, charge it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it, write it, cut it, paste it, save it, load it, check it, quick rewrite it, plug it, play it, burn it, rip it, drag it, drop it, zip, unzip it, lock it, fill it, call it, find it, view it, code it, jump and lock it, surf it, scroll it, pose it, click it, cross it, crack it, switch, update it, name it, read it, tune it, print it, scan it, send it, fax, rename it, touch it, bring it, pay it, watch it, turn it, leave it, stop, format it. Technologic. technologic.
What age did you get your first cell phone?
I think 6th grade.
13.
I think I was around that age.
27?
27?
13, 17.
13, 17. And what? 65? At what age do you plan, or do you think you will, give your daughters or
My
future
daughter and
children
son?
a cell phone?
I'm not having any more kids. I'm done. No more. At what age? She's already got an iPhone.
I would say probably around 12 years old.
Can I ask why you give your son a cell phone at 12?
I think it's important to be able to communicate with your child that young. They're exploring. They're going to friends' houses. They're doing things in the neighborhood and stuff like that. Also, when you enable GPS locate, you can sort of keep tabs on your children too.
What do you use your cell phone for every day?
Communication for internet, as a GPS device, texting.
Use it for work purposes too, or no?
I do have a work cell phone that I also use for work purposes, yeah.
Calling my parents.
I'm mostly talking to my boyfriend because he lives in Beyond.
Okay, so communicating pretty much.
Communications. Communication.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I would say it's about half and half. Like, I have my planner, all those things, like the important things,
Right.
but then I also use it a lot for Facebook.
Social networking and communication.
The main thing is communication.
Okay. Do you ever text or drive, or like talk on the phone and drive?
I have before, but I red lights most of the time.
Do you ever text and like call while like multitasking, like doing other stuff?
Yeah.
And do you ever like text and drive, or text and like
never text and
multitask?
drive.
I say
Never
I'm not
text
going
and drive.
to, but I text and drive all the
Okay.
time.
That's terrible.
Do you like text and like multitask, like do something else that's kind of maybe
Yes.
important?
Homework?
Yeah.
I text.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you ever text and call, or text or call while like multitasking, while doing other things, maybe being with your daughters?
Yes. And she told me the other day to stop texting.
Oh, really?
Which was funny because coming from a 2.5-year-old.
Right. How long do you like feasibly think that you could actually go without a cell phone?
I could go without a cell phone. I mean,
Forever?
well, yeah, if I had a home phone.
Okay. How about you?
I don't know. Depends. Is it maybe a month?
No more than a week.
Okay.
I would struggle like 2 days just because I have everything on there, like my calendar and all that crap. And
Yeah.
I can't because it's my only phone.
Do you think that us as teenagers or as a human race are over dependent on cell phones?
That's a good question. Yeah, I mean, I think to an extent, but I think it's inevitable, and I don't really think it's a problem.
Okay.
Because you talk about all these things, how books are being phased out, how traditional methods of information are being phased out. And I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing.
Right.
At least when you're talking about things like books and keeping that like traditional sense of information. Especially because I think there's this misconception that if we have an over-dependency, or a dependency even on cell phones, that we're going to lose, I guess, a sense for curiosity and searching for knowledge. And I think that's really, I think that's really hollow. I don't think that's an empty concern.
Okay.
No, I like the technology. I think it's good. I think it's just how we use it. Sometimes we get addicted to it, like when people are texting and driving. I saw grandmother the other day texting and driving, which was scary. And it's, But I don't think technology is a bad thing. It's just how we implement it.
So you don't think we're too attached to it? Not you, not me.
Well,
maybe you're.
But that's a generational thing. I look at you guys and say maybe you're too attached to it, but you look at us and say
you're too detached.
You don't understand, because we really don't understand growing up in a digital world, because you guys have always had it, and it's the way you communicate and socialize and that. We look at it and say that's not the way we did it, so it can't be right. But it's such a kind of game-changing, society-changing device or ability that we've got to kind of understand it better.
I feel like an adult would say yes, but because we've always grown up with them, I'm going to say no, because it's just part of our culture.
Do you think that us, like as teenagers or as like humans, are over-dependent on our cell phones?
Yes.
How do you think we could balance our use of technology, our cell phones, with still being human and
that's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do that.
Okay.
I mean, you got to use it for what you got to see it as a tool versus a distraction. And you know, maybe in the hands of youth, it's more of a distraction because it's instant entertainment. You know, what's more entertaining, sitting in a high school class or playing a video game on your cell phone?
Right.
Most people would pick cell phone, right? But you've got to have the ability to turn it off at the right time or put it away and use it as a proper tool. If you're using it to learn something, like, hey, I want to find out something on the internet, I think that's great.
I mean, moderation is the key to everything.
It depends to the parents.
To the parents, so you think, what do you think they should do?
They should like give them like limited
Okay.
amount of like
Minutes and data and that stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
I think that the cell phone company should shut down and then we wouldn't have any cell phones.
So you think we should just end it?
Yeah, I think that we should because honestly our generation alone is so dependent on their technology and everything
Right.
that like we can't even like function at school without it or
Right.
we can't do things without it. So I think that if we were to just like have to like live without it, then we would be okay.
That's true, but people need cell phones to get in touch with people.
But they didn't need cell phones back in the day. We could survive without them.
We could survive without them,
Uh-huh.
but with the way technology has evolved, I don't think we should. I just feel like we should become more, like, less dependent from them by just doing better things with our time than relying on
I think we should go back to letters.
Use it when you need it.
Okay.
Be more social, like interactive wise, instead of using like Instagram or Facebook to be social, like
face to face.
Yeah, face to face.
Right, yeah.
So what can we do to fix it? How can we step away from technology for a few minutes, or at least have some sort of social grace? So we came up with an idea that I challenge you guys to try. Next time you're out with a bunch of friends, everybody stack their cell phones, stack them up, face down. The first person to check their cell phone picks up the tab, wherever you guys are.
Technology. Buy it, use it, break it.